Good evening, everyone. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting. The date is May 12th, 2015. It is 7:30 p.m., actually 7:31 now. It's meeting number 2015-10. Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
President Barry,
Here.
Trustee Strite,
Here.
Trustee Quinlan. Here. Trustee Olenichek will not be here tonight. Trustee Desmond,
Here.
Trustee Carberry,
Here.
Trustee Vorder.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Number 2 tonight on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 on tonight's agenda is public comments. We have 2 public commenters tonight. I'm going to invite Mr. Mayor Katzenstein over to our podium, please. And you're with Aperion Care in Oak Lawn, and I understand you have some exciting news for us over at Aperion Care. First, I need to ask you, are you an Oak Lawn resident, sir?
I am not an Oak Lawn resident.
Okay. Okay, and if you could come to the podium and just let us know, you have 3 minutes, sir.
There's seats right there.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to, my name is Mayor Katzenstein, and I am the administrator at the nursing home on 94th and Ridgeland. It's called Aperion Care Oak Lawn. And I'd like to first start off and thank the mayor for kicking off our nursing home week yesterday by joining us on the brunch. We really appreciate it.
Happy to be there.
Thank you.
Honored to.
In any event, our nursing home we have 134 beds with over 140 staff members, and we just got our 5-star rating from the CMS, which is based on staffing and various things, survey and complaints and everything else. And we also happen to be JACO accredited with a seal of excellence. And but the main thing that I came here tonight to tell everyone is that we are just finishing off our $3.5 million renovation project. We started off in the facility. We updated and renovated all the resident rooms, and we basically updated the whole entire facility. And the final stage of that is the facade, and that everyone will, as they pass by, will definitely see a difference in the whole entire nursing home, and it'll change the whole area the way it looks. It was definitely needed, and we are all very excited. And I'd like to also thank all the various departments in Oak Lawn who helped us get to this point and really made this process a breeze. And just want to thank everyone.
Thank you, Mayor.
Have a good night.
Can you turn that around and show the board? I'm so excited. This is at 94th and Ridgeland. And you can drive by it 1,000 times and never notice it. And it looks fantastic. So $2.5 million. So thank you. Best of luck to you. Thanks for coming down. Oh, and in the back, there's some brochures and hand sanitizer.
Yes.
For anyone who thinks we have a little bit of germ problem here. Thank you. And our second public commenter tonight is Commissioner Linda Vorderer, going to talk about the art auction. Thank you for coming down, Linda.
Good evening. My name is Linda Vorderer, and I am the chair of the newly formed Oak Lawn Arts Commission here in Oak Lawn. We're really excited to bring the arts to our town, and we have, including myself, 7 very enthusiastic and involved commissioners, all of whom will have donated at least one, or in many cases more, works of art to be auctioned off at 4909 Supper Club on 95th Street, formerly known as SIP, at an event that we're inviting everybody to on May 30th, Saturday, May 30th, from 7 to 10 o'clock. Please make a note of that. It is on the village website under, you go to residents and then to the Oak Lawn Arts Commission. And you can find it there, and I believe it's on the calendar as well. And on that note, I would like to present to each of our distinguished trustees a personal invitation to the event.
Thank you, Linda. And so the proceeds of this will fund Acorns on Parade, correct? Yes, very good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes our public comments for tonight. Our next agenda item is item 4 on tonight's agenda. This is approval of meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes, 2015-09, dated April 28th, 2015. May I have a motion, please, on item 4? Thank you, Linda. I don't know if I saw brochures back there. Yeah.
Motion approved.
Properly moved by trustee Carberry.
Second.
Second by trustee Vorderer. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Stride?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
And trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 5, wow, this is remarks by outgoing official. Trustee District 5, Carol Quinlan. You have some remarks for us?
I do.
Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I can't believe that it's been 8 years since I was first sworn into office. I'll admit, though, that the time has flown by. I've worked hard these past 8 years and learned a lot, not only from staff and our consultants, but from you, the residents of Oak Lawn. Over the years, I've met so many thoughtful and caring residents who have called me on the phone, emailed me, or even invited me into their homes to share with me their concerns, troubles, or suggestions. I appreciated their honesty and their commitment to helping make Oak Lawn an even better place to live. My intentions were always to represent the 5th District to the best of my abilities and to do it with honesty and integrity at all times. Over the years, I've been humbled by your belief and support in me. I am truly grateful for having been able to serve this wonderful community. Thank you, residents of Oak Lawn, for putting your faith in me. I can only hope that I did justice to my position as your trustee. My job was very much dependent on the assistance of many wonderful people who work in our village. I would be very remiss not to thank them, so it's a little bit of a list, so please bear with me. First of all, Larry Deachin, our village manager, thank you for heading up all of our departments. I know you put in countless hours of work, and it is always appreciated. You have dealt and will for a long time, a lot of different points of view and strong personalities, which I realize at times can be stressful, so thank you. We have the finest fire and police departments, led by truly dedicated men. Fire Chief George Sheets, former interim and late Fire Chief Ernie Russell, retired interim Fire Chief Ed Folliard, Police Chief Mike Murray, and of course our retired Police Chief Bill Villanova. These men have all answered my calls on numerous occasions, day or night. Thank you for the important work that you do. I would like to thank our village treasurer, Joe Skibinski, and all of those in the Administrative Services Department, especially Brian Hannigan and Joanne Szynski, for keeping this board up to date with the financials and for answering my many questions over the years. You work tirelessly on our behalf, and I am grateful. Thanks to those who work in or had worked in our Emergency Operations Center, Senior Center, Information Technology, Building and Property Maintenance Departments, specifically Tom Swa and Oscar Moreno, our Infotech Specialists, Jack Gallagher, our Village Engineer, Don McKenna, our Chief Building Inspector, and Jeannie Galzin, our Chief Maintenance Inspector. I can't even count the number of times that I've talked to Jeannie about a problem. She's always replied quickly and helped to address the problem immediately with complete professionalism. Our inspectors oftentimes have a thankless job, but please know that I couldn't have done my job without you and your vigilance. I would also like to thank our Director of Human Resources, Dan Omazinski, and our Administrative Assistants, Chris O'Grady and Carmi O'Leary. A big thanks to Steve Barrett, our Public Works Director, and his staff and crews in water, street, equipment maintenance, and forestry. Steve has been phenomenal whenever I've needed him or his crews. Quick to respond and to service the residents of Oak Lawn, especially when dealing with a lot of complaints and problems during rain and snow events. Garbage pickup, tree trimming. Well, they handle just about everything. Steve, he is the best. And when speaking about rainstorms, I must thank Bill Meyer, our sewer crew chief, who has gone on many house calls with me over the years to help residents deal with their flooding issues. Bill, wherever you are, thank you for not only teaching me the ropes, but also for your patience and kindness to the residents who are dealing with these flooding issues. You are incredible. A shout out to Ken Ritter, our Water Division Manager, Jerry Ciccarillo, our Streets Division Manager, and Luke Fagan, our Streets Crew Chief, for all of your help over the past 8 years. And to Steve Radis, thank you for always keeping me in the loop. I know I can count on you to continue working on getting the best stores in Oak Lawn, especially for Stony Creek Promenade. And you know the stores that I'm thinking about. And thank you to the residents who have stepped up to the plate and served on our commission boards. Your roles are important and definitely make our lives easier by the work that you do on these boards. I want to thank each and every past and present board member, Mayor Burry, and former Mayor Dave Heilman, Clerk Jane Quinlan, trustees Tim Desmond, Alex Olnichik, Bob Streit, Terry Vorder, Mike Carberry, our former trustees, Jerry Herkes, Cindy Trausch, Steve Rosenbaum, and Tom Phelan. You have all at times challenged me, questioned me, frustrated me, taught me, encouraged me, and helped me, which in my opinion has made me a better person and trustee. So thank you. I know that we've had the best intentions and that each of us have strived to do what is in the best interest of the village. So I wish you all good luck and the best to you. I'd also like to thank Bud Stalker for your willingness to serve Oak Lawn. I know you will work hard for our residents and that you too will do this job with honesty and integrity. And so I feel much better having stepped down, knowing that you will be taking my place in representing District 5. And lastly, I want to thank my family and friends. Thank you for listening to me and always being there by my side. And finally, to my family, to my wonderful husband, Joe, and my sons, Connor and Matt, who are the best sons ever. I know at a lot of times this hasn't been easy on you. I've called you out, asking you to help me on a variety of things, going into residents' homes and helping them, or even just driving up and down flooded streets. Your unconditional love and support means the world to me, so thank you very much.
Carol,
Thank you.
that was a beautiful speech. Thank you so much. I just, on behalf of the board, on behalf of the residents of Oak Lawn, I want to proudly recognize your years of service from 2007 to 2015 with this plaque presented this 12th day of May, 2015. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so Carol,
I'm ready.
you have, do you want your name tag too? Because we have another name tag to go there.
Just in case people forget who I am.
That on your lapel, it's pretty big. Won't fit you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all
Thank
very
you,
much.
Carol, and
Carol.
thank you to the
Yeah.
Quinlan
Carol.
family as well.
Mayor, before Carol goes, I'd like to say something after serving with her for 8 years, if I may. It has been a pleasure working with trustee Carol Quinlan. This board will miss her unique perspective on the issues. Carol has always been a bright spot on this board during her 8 years of service. She has always been thoughtful, deliberative, and respectful. She grew up in Oak Lawn and chose to raise her family here. As a lifelong resident and a mother, she brought a passion to this board that will be hard to replace. She represented the residents of District 5 very well, and all of the residents in the village of Oak Lawn in a very professional manner. She will be remembered as a champion for the original vision of the Stony Creek Promenade at 111th and Cicero. Carol, thank you for your years of service to the people of Oak Lawn. You will be greatly missed.
Thank you, Bob.
Best of luck, Carol. Thank you. Okay. Item 6 tonight, oaths of office administered by Village Clerk Jane Quinlan. I'd like to invite Trustee-elect Bud Stalker to come up to the dais, please. And you could show off your shiny new name tag up there. Welcome. And I'm going to turn the floor over to our village clerk, Jane Quinlan, who will be the officiant for the swearing in.
You have Trustee Desmond Strite in Stockford to be?
Do you want family with them or not?
Well, we can do it, yeah, Bud, want to ask your family to come up and then well, first we'll do Tim and then.
Okay.
you
Okay,
can
fine.
have your family come
Thank
up
you.
also. So everybody can meet them. Come on over, Tim.
Would the Desmond family like to come up and stand with him?
We did this. Okay. Here's one quick. All the kids. Okay. Hi, kids. Okay. He's gonna raise his right hand and repeat after me. All right. Please repeat after me. I,
I,
Tim Desmond,
Tim Desmond,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office
to the office
of District 1 Village Trustee
of District 1 Village Trustee
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of District 1 Village Trustee
of District 1 Village Trustee
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations again, Tim.
Thank you. This is Lily, this is Grace, this is Aidan, Timmy, Connor, and Jack has got a rugby game this evening at Brother Rice. So, and this is my wife Eileen.
Thanks, Tim. Here you have to sign this. Right, excellent. That's it. Okay. Trustee Stride, come up with your family. Get taller than your dad. Okay. This is the line you say. Okay. Ready? I,
I, Robert Strite,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office
to the office
of District 3 Village Trustee
of District 3 Village Trustee
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of
That-
the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of District 3 Village Trustee
of District 3 Village Trustee
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. This is my son, Robert Joseph. This is my son, Christopher. Robert, by the way, is an 8th grader, an 8th grade student at Oak Lawn Hometown Middle School. He'll be going to Marist next year to join his brother, Christopher, who's a freshman at Marist. And this is my wife, Linda. And I'd like to just, I'm going to say a few words after the ceremony is over, but I want to thank them for their support throughout the years. So thanks, guys.
Trustee-elect Stalker.
You guys want to come up? Come on, load them up. Load them up. I want to win this race. William Bud Stalker. Come on, you stay here.
How are you?
And there's some missing. There's some missing, okay. You can tell everybody their names after. Okay.
If I remember.
We'll do this, then I'll just repeat everything I said. We'll go slow. All right. I, William Bud Stalker,
I, William Bud Stalker,
having been elected
having been elected
to the office
to the office
of District 5 Village Trustee
of District 5 Village Trustee
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of District 5 Village Trustee
of District 5 Village Trustee
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Welcome.
I'm trying to load the data so that I'll get support up here. This is my wife, Mary Ellen, my campaign manager. This is my granddaughter, Kate, grandson, Sean, granddaughter, Annabelle. Emily, Ethan, grandchildren, Heather, my daughter-in-law Heather, my son Brian, daughter Melinda, Meg, my daughter-in-law, son Bill, and son Sid. You nailed it.
Your sister's out there,
I
bud.
decided not to.
Your sister Gina. She's out there, and then you have to sign.
Oh, Gina and Carl. Stand up.
Okay, the sign, and we're all set.
Is it William R. Stalker or William Bud?
Yeah, William Bud. I would put what's right on it. Oh, you can-
Thanks. Okay, now you can't get rid of me.
Welcome aboard, Bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to turn the floor to the trustees who wanted to say a few words. Trustee Strite, you made the request first.
Thank you, Mayor. If I could, before I say a couple of things, I do want to recognize a couple of people that are here that are really special to the Village of Oak Lawn. I want to do this. I know they're not here to see me, but before they go, I want to make sure that they get the recognition that they deserve. With us tonight is Jane Powers, who served as the village clerk here in the Village of Oak Lawn for 28 years. It's really nice to see you, Jane. And also with her, well, her husband Joe is of course with her too. It's nice to see you, Joe. And then with joining Jane is another really a great public servant in the Village of Oak Lawn, somebody who served this village, first of all, for 16 years on the park board, and then after doing 16 years, and I do say it after doing 16 years because she said to me, 4 years, it sounds like a jail sentence. She served 16 years on this board, Marge Joy. Marge, great public servant. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to say thank you to all of the volunteers who worked on my campaign for re-election. One of the biggest reasons for the victory was because of you and because I had so many volunteers. Many of them are with us here tonight. Most importantly, I want to thank the residents of District 3 for the faith and confidence that you have placed in me to serve for another 4 years. To me, this election was about the issues, making Oak Lawn more open and honest, a more open and honest government, more transparent, about creating a village government that never forgets whose money it is that we're spending, and for making Oak Lawn a community where everyone feels safe in their home and safe in their neighborhood. Again, I want to thank those of you who joined my campaign, but I also want to thank those candidates who placed their name on the ballot, whether it was for village trustee or school board, library board, or park board, all of whose objective was to make Oak Lawn a better place to live and to raise a family. Which does bring me to my final point, and that is I'd like to again thank my wife and my kids for their support and understanding throughout the campaign, which it takes quite a bit of understanding to support a public official. It takes probably as much for them as it does for us, and they were out there working and helping out as all good family members do for their loved ones. But then I just really want to say, and again, it's nice to see so many wonderful faces, so many supporters, so many volunteers. But I do want to point out that the real work is ongoing. So I'm hoping to see that you'll continue to stay involved. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before we move on? Trustee Stalker?
Yeah, thank you very much. Trustee Strite, thank you very much for recognizing Marge Joy, Joe and Jane Powers. Marge was the trustee in my district when I first moved in, and I worked on her campaign, and I've really appreciated her support and the Powers support during the campaign this last March and April. The first thing I want to talk about is Carol Quinlan. Carol Quinlan has given 8 great years of service to the people of the 5th District, but she's also served the Village of Oak Lawn well. As I walked around trying to get elected in this past election series, I really realized how many people Carol had touched. The first question was, what about Carol? Why isn't Carol running? And I had to explain to them that Carol had asked me to run, and if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have gotten elected. She set high standards, and her attention to detail in this job were so important, and I hope to be able to step up to the plate and do the job as well as she did. Next to my wife, friend and partner, and yes, my campaign manager, we've been married now for 45 years. Mary Ellen learned how to campaign when her father was a precinct captain in the 14th Ward in Chicago. That's a visitation parish for you guys that are from Chicago. And he would walk around the city and say hello to everyone. And he set the stage for what I would do many years later, where she would help me run for this campaign. To my family, many of you who I saw tonight, they were the ones who were standing out in the cold on April 7th, manning the polls, and they gave me more than I thought I deserved. Thank you. I really appreciate that support. My other supporters and friends, you gave me the information, the finances, and the opportunity to run for this office. And I promise to serve you well now that I'm here. To the voters, please feel free to call me. That's what I'm here for, and I appreciate the election. We live in a great community that has a few problems, but none that we can't solve. We have underfunded pensions that we're going to work through and negotiate through, not legislate through or beat people up about. We have to keep our costs under control by using the best practices of folks in other cities in Illinois. They've already tried it, they've tested it, and it'll work. We need to bring more business into Oak Lawn, and we need to use those businesses. Sales tax revenue is money that doesn't go on your property tax bills. Shop in Oak Lawn, help bring businesses to Oak Lawn, help them make sure that they know that this is the place they want to work and live. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments before we move on?
Yes,
Trustee
Mayor.
Desmond.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank all the people, especially people in District 1. The last 2 years have been eye-opening, challenging, enjoyable. It was fantastic to meet such great people, and we really get to meet people when when we're elected as their representative. We get to see a different side of people, of families, of the issues that affect them, and I'm always amazed that when I go meet these people. Some of our backyards and lawns, we have some amazing gardens in Oak Lawn that people never get to see from the street until you really get to know the people, and it shows such individuality from everybody. The last 2 years have been it's been a privilege to work for the people of the First District, and I want to thank them for allowing me the opportunity to work for them for the next 4 years. I'd also like to thank all the people who helped me in the campaign, my family, for putting up with the couple of months of campaigning. I look forward to moving the village forward. I appreciate Trustee Stalker's comments about attracting new business. I agree with everything you have said. I look forward to working with you on that. And later on in the agenda, we're going to be talking about improving, what we can do to improve. We have an ordinance to increase new home construction. It's twofold. It's to generate new construction, new homes, and also to do something about the foreclosed homes and distressed homes that are still in our neighbourhoods. So we have a lot of work to do, and I'm looking forward to getting going on it. So thank everybody, and thank you, Mayor. Thank you, trustees.
Thank you.
That's
Tim.
all I got.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now let's get to work. You're all right. There's a lot of work to do. We're on item 7 tonight. This is conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone on the board have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we're going to move on to proclamations. Item 8, National Police Week, May 10th through the 16th of 2015. I have a proclamation to read. To recognize National Police Week 2015 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Village of Oaklawn Police Department, and whereas some 60,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in approximately 16,000 injuries. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, over 19,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas the new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including those officers killed in 2014 and killed in previous years. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 27th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2015. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families. Therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Oaklawn formally designates May 10th through the 16th, 2015 as Police Week in the Village of Oaklawn and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. I'll sign it right now, Chief. Thank you. I have one more proclamation. This is National Public Works Week, May 17th through the 23rd, 2015, whereas since 1960, the American Public Works Association has sponsored National Public Work Week, and whereas across the nation, our members use this week to energize and educate the public on the importance of the contribution of public works to their daily lives, planning, building, managing, and operating the heart of our local communities, and building the quality of life. And whereas public works professionals use sustainable solutions to bring their communities the highest possible quality of life within a framework of environment, social, and economic responsibility. And whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets, highways, public buildings, solid waste collection, and whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, construction, is vitally dependent on the efforts and skill of public works officials, and whereas the efficiency of qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now therefore, I, Dr. Sandra Berry, Village President of the Village of Oaklawn, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2015, as National Public Works Week in the Village of Oaklawn, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every single day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Approve this 12th day of May 2015. Congratulations to our public works employees. Thank you. Okay, we have new business by village trustees. I'm going to start at the beginning in District 1. Trustee Desmond.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item. Superior Ambulance have teamed up with the Oaklawn Jobs Programme and are looking for EMT basics, paramedics, dispatchers, Medicare drivers, billing administrators and office staff. And they would especially like veterans to apply for these positions. They have 100 openings in Elmhurst, Oaklawn, Markham, Chicago, Shamburg, Vernon Hills, several other locations. There will be a job fair on Thursday, May 28th, from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the VFW Hall, 9514 South 52nd Avenue. So again, that is Thursday, May 28th, from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. So, any veterans out there or anybody who would like to eventually become a paramedic or a firefighter, this is one of the first steps you can take to get your paramedic training and EMT basic training. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two items. First of all, during discussions at the last couple of board meetings, questions have been raised as to who sets policy in the Village of Oak Lawn. Recently, Trustee Quinlan questioned who decides when Everbridge alerts are sent out. And Trustee Olenichek asked who decides when bids can be split. And recently, the village manager sent out a memo outlining the administration's position on 8 policy issues, including stating that our fire department is overstaffed and archaically deployed. He also suggested that all trustees and the mayor should approve Governor Rauner's turnaround agenda. To many residents watching the prior 2 board meetings, it may seem that the village manager has been the person setting policy, but it is our job as trustees to set policy. The manager is supposed to carry out the board's policy on a daily basis. Often we hear from people in Oak Lawn who ask why it appears sometimes that the mayor and the board can't work together. Too often, the answer may be that we are defending or arguing against policies that we have not adopted in open meetings. Now that we have a newly constituted board, and in the spirit of cooperation and working together, I'd like to propose a special meeting of this board with the purpose of discussing the various policy issues that we have been talking about recently, and setting that direction, deciding what the direction that we as a board of trustees plan on implementing in guiding this village. Together we can publicly discuss the issues and decide what direction the board wishes to go into on these various issues. I would hope that this board would want to meet and try to work together on these issues. And the other issue that I have is that the Oak Lawn Fire Department just received the American Heart Association's Gold Standard Award for prompt and professional care of cardiac patients in the field. The American Heart Association recognizes the importance of emergency medical providers and how they contribute to saving lives using correct tools and training to promptly notify the hospitals and trigger an early response by the awaiting hospital personnel. Oak Lawn is one of only 3 fire departments in the state of Illinois that have been recognized with this award. So I'd like to say congratulations to the Oak Lawn Fire Department. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. District 4, Trustee Warder.
Yes, Mayor, just one thing. I'll be holding my 7th annual, or 7th community meeting since elected on Wednesday, May 20th at 7 p.m. at Salem United Church, 9701 South Costner Avenue. I have sent out flyers to every resident in the 4th District and asked them to attend. The agenda will include community safety issues. It'll include sewer and water issues. We will have presentations by our department heads. And we will also discuss village finances. I'd like to extend that invitation to everybody in the village, more than just the 4th District, Mayor. That's all I have. Again, May 20th, 7 p.m., Salem Church.
Thank you very much. And District 5.
I hadn't intended to say anything more, but I just wanted to jump on top of the National Police Week. I was with my brother-in-law, who's a retired state policeman, and his son is a state policeman. And one of the things he said this weekend was very telling to me. And what he said was, it's a tough time to be a police officer. 99.9%, or some very large number of the people who serve our country as policemen, are dedicated, honest, wonderfully caring people. And I just want to make sure that we give them the respect that they deserve. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. District 6.
Yes, Mayor, just briefly, off the top of my head, a few of the things, Bob, that we were part of and you were part of on this board. Pension reform, which I don't think all the people of Oak Lawn realize, as a part-time trustee, us getting full year pension credits is ridiculous, and it no longer will happen again. And it was an important vote, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Health benefits, free health benefits. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to be a part-time employee and get free health benefits, right? We don't get that at Oak Lawn anymore. Matter of fact, an election in Chicago Ridge was just won. The people spoke up and said, we're not going to accept our trustees getting free health insurance and health benefits, which was part of this board for a long time. Term limits, property maintenance, and I can go on. So the board, we've been busy with a lot of changes, a lot of policy, and we'll continue. And please join the meetings. Bring up anything that you we could vet in ethics and ordinance. We have many more coming up right now.
I plan to.
Pardon me?
I plan to.
Please do. Please do. One of the things, it might not be popular, but one of the things we discuss in ethics and ordinance, throughout the village, we have issues with our streets and our sidewalks. And we're gonna make some tough choices coming up to make an investment with the people and us. We're gonna ask you to make an investment in our infrastructure. And we're gonna be voting on that too, so get involved. They're public meetings, show up.
Thank you. Is that your report? Okay, excellent, thank you. Item 10, Village Manager's Report. Larry, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. First of all, I would like to congratulate both incumbent trustees, Desmond and trustee Stride, on the reelection, and then also to our newly elected trustee, Mr. Stalker. It certainly is an honor and an awesome responsibility to represent the public trust, and I wish you the very best in your endeavors. I would like to follow the remarks made by trustee Stalker regarding trustee Quinlan. And I wish he was here, but I'm sure I'll have the chance in person, hopefully this weekend, to say those remarks that I want to make now. Carol, it is without a doubt one of the most difficult jobs that you have, we all face as elected official with your family members, to represent that public trust and be in a fishbowl 24/7. It certainly is not easy. One may say it's brutal. And one of the best public servants that I think, at least in my history, that we can look to as far as public service was the 26th President of the United States, and that's Theodore Roosevelt. And Ted Roosevelt was former police commissioner of the city of New York. He was born and raised in New York. He also was the governor of the state of New York. And when he was elected president, and he served for 2 terms, 1901 to 1908. Presidents are term limited at 2 terms in this country. And President Roosevelt, who was an author, an historian, a police commissioner, a president, and a sportsman, and most important, conservationist. In his career, he put aside 230 million acres of land for conservation, created 4 national parks when he was president. Those acres cover a good section of the East Coast and New York and the state of Florida, to give you an idea of the size, 230 million acres. And there are 2 quotes that he's known for, many quotes, but I think these apply. Number 1, when I think of Carol Quinlan and the job she did for her district. Quote from our president: "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." And that was Carol. She often came up with a lot of ideas, some which came to fruition, others which are still being pursued. I know that trustee Stalker is going to work his very best to keep that vision that trustee Quinlan had in place, and hopefully during his term see them to fruition with the help of this board and this mayor. So I salute Carol Quinlan for that vision. The second quote really reflects what it means to be an elected official and what you have to do up here on the dais. And that quote is, "In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The second best thing you can do is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is to do nothing at all." And I would say during her 8 years, Carol participated in many very, very difficult decisions: economic development, labor, litigation, preserving land, stormwater management. All those decisions were tough on her watch, and Carol stood up here, as Trustee Carberry said, and she voted and she made decisions. So I salute Carol, thank her for her public service, and most important, for her 2 fine sons, and for her husband who stood by her, and the many, many hours that she spent here doing the public's business. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Mayor.
If I-
Trustee Carberry.
Yeah, just a comment. Bob got me a little sidetracked, and I wanted to echo your comments. I just had one comment to make, actually. It was on Trustee Quinlan. I truly believe that's politics never got in the way of her doing the right thing for Oak Lawn. It was great to serve for her, and it takes a lot of guts to put your name on the ballot. She did it, and she did a good job for Oak Lawn, and that's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Warder.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that. Last meeting, I made mention of the fact that both sides of the aisle were always able to talk with Carol. I mean, if there was an issue that was important to me, I could call her up and solicit her support, and she would call me, and that's what a good politician does, regardless of what side of the aisle they're on. They work for the people. So I'd like to thank her, too.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else, Larry?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, very well said. Item 11, this is an appeal of an adverse decision by the Appeals Board. This was a 5-1 vote to deny request for front yard variation to allow a fence at 10009 South Moody Avenue in District 3.
Madam President?
Trustee Warder.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to uphold the decision of our appeals board. These people vent these things for us. They make these decisions, and I think we should support their decision. So I make a vote that we deny the request.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mayor, I would actually like to make a motion that we reverse the decision of the appeals board and grant the request for a front yard
Okay,
variation.
we have a superseding motion, or which goes first?
Okay,
We have a motion and a second.
you should take discussion on this motion, then vote on it, and then if the
Okay.
motion doesn't pass, and then it would be trustee Strike's motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is take the vote, this is a motion to deny.
Right. You
Okay.
can have discussion on it.
I'm sorry, discussion, yes. Any other discussion?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm actually shocked that a trustee would make a motion to uphold a decision without hearing from the petitioner. The petitioner is here. I'm sure the petitioner would like to speak to the issue, and I would like to speak to the issue as well. So I'm also shocked and disappointed that we would be making decisions before we actually hear from the petitioner and hear the facts. So if I could, I mean, I'm not sure, I'd like to speak to it, but I think maybe the petitioner should be given an opportunity to address the board if you would so.
Madam
We've
Mayor, I don't
had-
think Trustee Vorder is censoring anybody.
We've had 2 public hearings on this, and all the documentation was available to every trustee. So I'm going to move on. Any other comments or discussion?
You're not going to allow the petitioner to address
Trustee
the board?
Stalker?
I really would like to defer to the conversation from the trustee of the district that this variation is being requested in. The trustee in that district has the greatest opportunity to know his residents and to know what's good for his area. And I would like to hear what Trustee Strike wants to say.
Okay. Trustee Vorder?
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that this has been vented by at least a dozen people, 2 commissions, okay, our zoning and our appeals board. And it's been denied by a number of people who are vested in our community too. We ask these people to serve on these commissions for nothing. They vent these issues for us, and I think we need to support our commissions when they make such strong decisions. So, but I'm willing to listen.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, Trustee Straight?
Yes, again, I mean, I guess my first question is, and I will address the issue, are you going to allow the petitioner to address the board?
Unless someone really is gonna second that, everything has been presented. If there's new information, I'd like to hear it.
Okay, all right, then I guess I'll speak on
Madam
behalf of the
Mayor.
Trustee
petitioner.
Carberry.
I just want, I have not been contacted by anybody. I've gone by the property. I've been familiar with the, I went through the documentation that's been to us. Nobody, other than tonight, has said a word to me about this. So, we're supposed to do our job and be ready to make the vote.
Okay, so,
Okay, so I'm gonna call the vote.
no, I'd like to speak to the issue first.
Okay.
I
You have the
couldn't
floor.
believe that you would even consider calling the vote without hearing about this resident's concerns. When I was first contacted by the petitioner, his name is Mauricio Medina. He's sitting in the back row. Hi, Mauricio. He indicated that he purchased a lot adjacent to his home with the express purpose of fencing it in for the safety and security of his wife and children. His home is on the southern edge of Oak Lawn, and his neighborhood abuts an expansive area of open space, including Columbus Manor Park and the Stony Creek Golf Course, and sits about 50 yards away from the Norfolk and Western Railroad tracks. He told me that he had seen coyotes in his yard. I'm certain that he has. He said that he had been the victim of fly dumping, which I witnessed myself. There was truckloads of debris that had been dumped in the vacant lot that he purchased next to his home. And most recently, he's been the victim of a residential burglary. His home was actually broken into. Mauricio Medina is a young professional. He's a Hispanic who has chosen to raise his family in the village of Oak Lawn. You would think that we would go out of our way to welcome young families that are concerned about the safety and security of their families, and that they would have a positive experience with their village government. I can assure you that that has not happened in this case, and it's quite apparent it's going to continue not to happen this evening. I was surprised to learn that the village manager was so involved in this petition at a very early stage. The village manager involved in a fence variation, a man that makes in excess of $200,000, whose primary focus should be on economic development and running the village, to be involved in a fence variation in a neighborhood in the 3rd District. So I was even surprised even greater when I learned that the village told Mauricio Medina that he would have to pay $500 to have a variation request heard by the appeals board. $500 that should have been $25. And I like you're probably wondering, I was shaking my head going, what is going on here? How could this possibly be? So Mauricio first contacted, when he had this idea of fencing in his yard, he contacted all of his neighbors. Some of them are sitting here with him tonight. And he asked them, if they would support his request, if they had any objection. None of his neighbors object to his request to fence in his yard. Nobody, okay? The other thing that he did is he pointed out that there's about 20 of these lots in his neighborhood that are entirely fenced in. 20. I went out and I looked at them myself. I looked at them personally. They're there. And so if there's 20 other people that have done it, it certainly isn't going to alter the character of the neighborhood. So you have to ask yourself, why the neighbors don't object. It's not going to alter the character of the neighborhood. The only one that's objecting is sitting next to me, and apparently strongly objects for a reason that, it just doesn't make any sense. Mauricio first approached the village back in July of 2014. So it's almost been a year since he has wanted to build this fence for the safety and security for his wife and kids, which, by the way, one is a toddler, one's a baby, brand new baby. Seems like a pretty reasonable request. No reason at all to object. None. So no reason, no objection from the neighbors, no altering the neighborhood. So we talk about how important it is. Oftentimes we'll hear about how important it is to streamline the business process here in the community so that we can avoid the red tape and delays that it will take for businesses to locate in our community. But here we have a young professional who moved into our community, and we're treating him like this. So it just, I hope that we're not gonna, this isn't, apparently, and I guess I probably want to hear, I hope I can hear from the other board members instead of just a no. Hopefully they'll really explain their vote if they do, because we heard, I think the trustee that, made the motion to deny said, this has been vetted by so many people and so many boards, and boom. You know what? It's all, I don't even want to say what it is. It's all been driven, again, by the manager who got involved at an early stage, did not want this young man to put this fence up. For no good reason, not a good reason at all. And I could go into it a lot deeper, and I'm probably going to have to. I'm probably going to go into it a lot deeper, so that you can really know what's going on here, because that's what's really going on here, all right? I hope that Mauricio is given a chance to speak. Doesn't sound like the mayor wants to hear from him, doesn't want to give him a chance to speak. She's already ready to make a decision. But you know what? It's not the message that you want to send to our community. This is a community, we've got 15% of our community is Hispanic. I see Juan Medina sitting there shaking his head next to him. You know what?
Trustee Stride, I was asking
know what?
if you were presenting new information that
Yeah.
wasn't
You know
in
what?
our packets.
You want some new information?
I would like
You
that.
do? Okay. I'll give you some new information.
you.
All right?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well,
What are you presenting that's
Okay.
not in our packet? I certainly appreciate everything you're saying about
I don't think you do, Mayor.
the gentleman, and
yeah, I don't think you do.
it's
I think
against
you-
Robert's rules to presume what anyone thinks, sir.
Well, and it's against Robert's rules to interrupt me too. So, because you
Trustee
want to
Stride, I
seem
have
to-
the floor now,
You-
please.
You know what? No, you really don't. I still have the floor. You're taking the floor away.
No one is stopping this gentleman from
Yes.
building a fence.
You know
It's
what?
building a fence
Madam Mayor?
outside village ordinance.
Madam
And
Mayor.
we have, I'm gonna let one of our appeals board members who's
Really?
present speak
That
to
makes
this.
a lot of sense.
Let's have respect for,
Barney, you're out of order,
sit
sir.
down, you're out of order.
I am put on this board, although Bob
Officer,
voted against
If you
me.
could direct the gentleman to please
I also
have a
live in
seat.
the 3rd District for 48 years, longer than Bob Strite, by the way, who I used to support.
Please speak to the issue, Andy, or
Yeah,
we
I'll
need
speak
move
to the
on.
issue. It was a 5-1 vote. We have good people on that board, like Jay Lurkwin, Norma Jean Werner, and myself, who go and do all this stuff for nothing, basically, and we go over the facts. Bob, I am Greek, okay? Don't pull the race card with me, okay?
Andy,
Because I
Andy,
know what it's
Andy.
about, okay?
Andy, your comments are kind of
The
inappropriate.
facts are this. Listen to me.
Andy.
Just wait a minute.
Andy, I'm gonna cut you off.
The facts
Andy.
are this.
Andy,
The facts are this. The fence was built illegally, okay? It is a safety issue, okay? When we vote on something, nobody called me, okay? Nobody tells me what to do, and Bob would know that very well, okay?
okay, we're gonna, thank you
No,
for
but
your
I'm
comments,
not
Andy.
finished, because
Andy,
I
yes,
want
you are.
people
I'm
to know
sorry.
this, that there was no inside deal, no quid pro quo with me, okay?
Okay, we had another
Sir,
comment from
respect
one
my
of the
authority on
trustees.
this because I serve on the board.
Andy-
I took the time to go over there and look at stuff.
Andy, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Excuse me, Mayor, can Excuse
Trustee
me.
Desmond.
Was the petitioner granted a permit to build a fence?
I believe he was.
And he was denied the variation he requested?
He was denied the variation. He proceeded, my understanding, to build the fence outside of the guidelines that were given
So
to him.
he was told not to do it, and he still built it?
Not correct.
No,
That is not true.
Okay,
Another
Trustee Desmond has the floor.
No, Trustee Strite, I mean, this is the first you have communicated to anybody on this. I mean, as a trustee, we're the ones voting on this. Would you have not reached out to every other trustee here?
No, I don't think I would, okay?
Oh,
Just
well,
because
okay,
you call up
obviously.
trustee Warder and ask him if he'll support you, and you call up trustee Carberry, doesn't mean that that's how it's supposed to work, okay?
No,
This is a
it's-
public hearing. We get to say, these are the
Trustee
facts.
Strite, you're
and
out
you
of
make a
order. Let
decision. I'm
Trustee
out of-
Desmond continue.
He asked me a question. I'm just
Trustee
simply
Desmond
asking
has
a
the
question.
floor.
I'm just saying, you know, why is there no communication between you and any other trustee here? You have to, make a big deal. You know, here we are.
This is a big deal,
here
trustee.
I'm
It's a
talking-
real big
I'm
deal.
Strite, you're
talking
out of
here.
order.
I'm talking. So you were. It's a big deal. You were saying that we should ignore the rule of law, let him just build a fence anywhere he wants
Nope,
it.
nobody's-
Yeah, yes, you were. You just said that.
Absolutely not.
He was denied a variation to build a fence on his front
And
yard.
we can grant the variation, trustee. That's the
Trustee-
rule of law.
Trustee Strite, you're out of order.
You know
Please
what?
respect
You're-
Robert's rules. Trustee Desmond, please continue.
No, that was my question. I just want to see if
Thank you.
Trustee Strite was willing to
Thank you.
work
Any-
with the rest of the board, but obviously he's not.
But
Any
I-
trustee who has not weighed in, have any comments? Trustee Warder?
I'd just like to point out a couple of things that Bob said that might be an error. First off, I went by this house and took a look at this fence before I made any decisions. No village manager nor any trustee or anybody ever talked to me about this issue. Second off, Bob, those fences that are there are existing non-conforming. Before those areas were ever annexed into Oak Lawn and followed our codes, those fences were up. They're existing
true.
non-conforming. Well,
Not
I
correct.
patrolled those
Trustee
areas
Strite,
for 40
please
He's
let.
wrong.
I
Trustee
patrolled
Strite,
those
you do
areas
not
for
have the floor.
35 years. I'm familiar with the ordinance and I saw
Really?
the
It's
fence.
kinda easy to
That
tell a
house
new
is at
fence.
least 2 or 3.
Trustee Strite, you will respect Robert's
How
rules,
about if
please.
we respect our residents?
That house
You were doing this resident a huge disservice by your
Really?
I
behavior.
think you're doing them.
Okay, Trustee
no,
Warder
no.
has the floor. Trustee Desmond.
You need to start representing the people of your district.
This house is at least 2 or 3 houses away from any railroad tracks. It's divided by a street. It's probably a half a mile away from the golf course and a block and a half away from any parks. So, Bob,
Okay.
I went by and looked at it. That's what I saw when I went there. That's all I
Okay.
have, Mayor.
Okay, any trustee who has not weighed in have anything to say? Sir, just a moment, please. If you could please come to the podium, you'll have 3 minutes. And please tell us something new that has not been presented to the two boards.
I will,
3
as a
minutes,
matter of
please,
fact.
Clerk Quinlan.
First of all, I think, he did a wonderful work explaining the issue, but I think I'm totally disappointed, with your decision, from the beginning. I'm a resident here, and I came to live here with my family. The first issue is that, unfortunately, the builders did a horrible job explaining what is required. So I got the permit from Don McKenna, and he kind of drew the fence in the survey without explaining anything to my wife. I didn't stop by for the permit. So my wife got to give it to me without, I just got the permit, I got it, and I started working on the fence. A couple of minutes after, Don stopped by and canceled the work, okay? So my wife asked him, why you're doing that? He's like, oh, I talked several times with your husband. I never met Don before. So there was a lack of communication from the beginning, okay? There was a prior fence there, so it was a replacement, and Don forced my wife to buy the new permit rather than the replacement permit for the fence. So from the beginning, there was a lot of issues there. So I stopped the work immediately, and I've been trying to approach the different Board of Appeal, but I stopped because they asked me $500, to pay for the boards of appeal. So I think that's a horrible thing that somebody in your office is doing that. Second of all, I do have a kid and a daughter. I think if you're a parent, you know that the most important thing is the family. So I have coyotes in my area. They were almost attacking my daughter once, so that's why I decided to put the fence. So I don't see how you being a parent, are making a decision without really thinking what is the right thing. You said, Larry, let's do the right thing, right? So right now is the moment to do the right thing. If you are, the village president, I hope you do the right thing too. My family is first. I have a somebody broke into my property already too. There's a police report on that. So security is important here. And if you don't care about that, all the trustees, I mean, it doesn't matter where district I am. I moved from Lincoln Park to Oakland because I think this is a good area to live, where I want to raise my kids. So I'm a good citizen, I'm a good resident. I'm improving the area by being here.
Thank you.
So I hope you make a good decision.
Thank you. Trustee Quinlan.
Clerk Quinlan, that's
I'm
all right.
sorry, yes.
Mauricio, I just like to clarify one thing. I work every day in the Village of Oaklawn with our building inspector, Dan McKenna, and he does an excellent job in the Village of Oaklawn.
I don't have any doubt, because human can make
I
mistakes.
Okay,
find
thank
that
you.
every day. I just want to let the people of Oaklawn know that. Thank you.
And Trustee Stalker, I'm going to let you weigh in, but we are not going to have a back and forth with a resident. Thank you, sir. You're
Thank
welcome
you.
to.
When I first looked at this particular item, my first thought was to deny the request because there's no new information. Instead of doing that, I emailed Trustee Strite and asked him where he stood. His answer was, I stand with the resident. For that reason, I wanted to hear discussion tonight. I have not heard discussion tonight. I've heard arguments, accusations, exactly the kind of thing that makes this village look bad. I don't want to deny this petition, but I don't know what else to do because of the conduct that's going on here. I would prefer to table this and have more discussion, but we have a motion on the floor, and therefore, let's vote.
Okay. I'm just going to have our attorney weigh in as to the fee. Sir, can you discuss how fees are determined? Was this something that our village manager did, or is this our village code? What?
The higher fee, normally I believe any appeals petition is $25. The higher fee stemmed from what's called in our code, it's called a construction necessitated variation. Essentially what that means is when somebody applies for a variation after construction has begun. The idea of the fee is a deterrent for people to begin construction outside of building code or setback code or anything else. That's why it's a high fee. So that is per code. And I'll just speak briefly before you vote on exactly the legalities of the vote. Again, this is a denial. The petition was denied at the appeals board. In order to overturn that denial, you need the concurring vote of 4 trustees. So it's one of those super majority votes. Right now, there's a motion pending to uphold the appeals board decision. So if you wanted to uphold the appeals board decision, you would vote in the affirmative on the pending motion. If not, you vote no, and then a new motion would have to be brought up to overturn the appeals board decision, and that requires that supermajority 4-person vote.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's
Mayor-
take the vote, please.
Mayor, I do have some new information, okay? So that, for the benefit of the board, when an appeal when there is an issue that goes before the appeals board, and the attorney can challenge me on this or he can confirm it, there are 3 criteria that you can look at, the appeals board. One is, are there any unique circumstances that are causing the petitioner to seek this variation? Obviously, he described the unique circumstances. I described them to you. The second one is, does it alter the character of the neighborhood? Okay. I think that's clear that it doesn't alter the character of the neighborhood, even by Trustee Vorder's own admission. There's all kinds of them there. He calls them grandfathered. Some of them are brand new. Then the third one, does it create a hardship for the petitioner? And quite frankly, it does. He bought the lot with the intention of fencing it in. His neighbor that lives right next to his property is sitting there. I'm quite certain, several of his neighbors that are very supportive of this. So, by the way, the expert on your appeals board that you had here tonight didn't ask any of those questions during the hearing. Those are the only things you can talk
Trustee
about.
Straight?
By the way, they're the
No
only
personal
things
attacks,
you can
please.
talk about. Those are the basis.
Would the audience please come to order? Thank you.
Those are the basis, we all have the minutes. None of those questions were
Okay.
raised. And by the way, If it
So
does
what is
go,
the new information, Trustee
those,
Straight?
those issues weren't questioned, those weren't considered. And by the way, in a court of law,
Trustee
those are
Straight,
the
were you at
only
that- were you
things-
present at
you
that
can, You know what,
meeting?
you can go ahead, Mayor, and you can ram this thing through, because it's obvious that you plan to do that. But you know what? It won't stand. all
I've
right?
given you
It
more
will
than
not
enough
stand.
opportunities to present new information in the
I
absence
just
of new information.
did. Do you not understand that that to be all new information?
Thank you. Let's call the vote, please.
Sorry, I have one more question. Was the permit for the fence denied? He was allowed to build a fence, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Please call the vote.
Trustee
Can I hear
Strike,
the motion, please?
this is a motion to deny the request.
Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Strike.
No.
Trustee Stalker.
No.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2 to
Thank you.
deny.
And you are welcome, sir, to build a fence in compliance with the municipal code. And your trustee is welcome to attend our legislative meetings to alter municipal code should he see fit. And thank you. Okay, item 12. This is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a side yard setback variation and landscape screening variation for Simmons Middle School parking lot at 6450 West 95th Street. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition 2015-9, Ridgeland School District 122, petitioner in District 1. And item 13 is an ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion, please, on 12 and 13?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond.
Second. Second.
Seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 14 is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a front yard setback variation and landscape screening variation for a Harnu School parking lot at 9101 South Mead Avenue. This was a 5-0 vote to approve petition 2015-10, Ridgeland School District 122, petitioner in District 1. And 15 tonight is an ordinance granting that request. Yes. May I have a motion on 14-15?
I'll move the motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
And Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 16 tonight is an ordinance 15-10-34, an ordinance approving the Village of Oak Lawn residential fee deferral program. May I have a motion, please, on item 16?
Move to
Properly moved
approve.
by Trustee Desmond,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion here?
This is something that we have worked on in our Legislative and Ethics Committee. And I mentioned earlier that it's twofold. One is to try to sell all the foreclosed and distressed homes that are still in the neighbourhood. And hopefully by deferring the building permit fee to the end of construction instead of beginning of construction, we can get people in to buy up some of these distressed homes and start construction on new homes in our neighbourhoods. There would be no loss of revenue. We would just be deferring the building permit fee to end of construction.
Very nice. Thank you. Any other discussion? Let's take the vote, please.
Trustee Strike.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes.
17 tonight is ordinance 15-10-35, an ordinance approving a plat of conveyance to IDOT pertaining to permanent easements at Stony Creek Promenade. And then we have 18, which is an nope, just one at a time. 17, please. May I have a motion on 17?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Border,
Second.
second by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Motion passes. 18 tonight is ordinance 15-10-36, an ordinance of the Village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, approving and authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to the Agreement of Purchase and Sale for the ground lease parcel at Stony Creek Promenade between the Village of Oak Lawn and MEPT Stony Creek LLC. May I have a motion, please, on item 18?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Vorder
Second.
and seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion on this item? Let's take that vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes. 19 tonight is Resolution 15-10-21, a resolution approving Davis Concrete Construction's bid pursuant to the 2015 Concrete Repair and 50/50 Sidewalk Program. May I have a motion on 19, please?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes. 20 tonight is Resolution 15-10-22, a resolution approving a site lease agreement. This is between the Village of Oak Lawn and T-Mobile Central LLC for a telecommunications tower at 103rd and Costner. May I have a motion on item 20, properly moved by Trustee Carberry,
I'll second.
seconded by Trustee Warder. Any discussion? Thank you. Take the vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes. So we're on 21. This is a request to waive the formal bidding process and allow permission to purchase one 2015 Ford Transit 250 van from Hawk Ford for $28,497. This is for the Oak Lawn Police Department. May I have a motion on 21, please?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Vorder,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Let's vote on that, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. 22 is Village Clerk's report. Jane, you have the floor.
All right. Disbursement Resolution Number 2015-09D, dated May 12, 2015, in the amount of $5,003,153.53.
May I have a motion, please, on 22A?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by Trustee Carberry,
Second.
seconded, I think that was Trustee Vorder. Okay, you two sound alike.
Look alike.
No, sound alike.
It's the hair.
Any discussion?
Suit.
Let's take the vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion carries. One more thing, Mayor. On Monday, Memorial Day, May 25th, we will have the Johnson Phelps VFW along with the village, and we'll hold our memorial service on the Village Green at 11 a.m. And please, everybody come out and remember our military. Thank you.
Very nice, thank you. 23 tonight is the village president's report. 23A is a request to approve a Class 4, and that's IV, for an N like Nancy liquor license for 4909 Supper Club and Lounge. This is formerly SIP at 4911 West 95th Street, excuse me, in District 3. May I have a motion on 23A?
Move for approval.
Properly moved by Trustee Streit.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please. Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. 23B, ordinance number 15-10-37, an ordinance decreasing and increasing the number of Class IV liquor licenses and increasing the number of Class N like Nancy liquor licenses that can be issued in the village. This is for 4909 Supper Club and Lounge, 4911 West 95th Street. We have a motion on 23B.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Vorder,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Stride?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate our new trustees and congratulate those reelected. We have a lot of work to do. There are many issues facing Oak Lawn. I want to thank the candidates also who put their name on the ballot. It is a lot of hard work, and it's a different kind of experience when you're up to scrutiny. And I especially want to thank their families. There are many instances where they're called to go above and beyond, and while all of us elected officials signed up for it, the families didn't necessarily do so, and I want to thank them as well. On May 18th, this is Monday, Cooper's Hawk will be open for business at Stony Creek Promenade. We are very excited. It is absolutely probably one of the most spectacular restaurants I've ever seen in my life, and once the water jets get going, it will be just sensational. On May 30th, 2015, there is a Blue Ribbon Walk. This is a nationwide Blue Ribbon Walk. They're organizing it at 11 a.m. on May 30th to walk at noon at Lakeshore Park. That's Oak Lawn Lake, I believe. Come out and support our first responders. The flyer says they are there when you need them. Let's show us we care about them and all first responders. Every 58 hours, an officer dies in the line of duty. 71 officers died in the 9/11 attack. Police officers put their very lives on the line every day, making split-second decisions. Please show our officers in blue how much we respect and appreciate their service and sacrifice. All residents are encouraged to come out and show their support, even if you're not able to do the walk. There will be information out there. We'll try to get this on our village website or in the community news also. So it's a great event. I encourage everyone to take part. And with that, I believe that's it for me. I'd like item 24 discussed now. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Carberry, seconded by trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Motion carries.
Did you go look at that fence?